I'm gonna say one thing.
Okay.
I was working on maps and all this stuff for so long that honestly, I didn't really consider a recap. So I grabbed some recap guy to come give me a hand. Come on, recap guy. How about you let us know what happened last time on Carbon Interface?
Oh man, I just might let you know what happened last time on Carbon Interface. Last time on Carbon Interface, everyone got on a train. You see, Rain met Pablo and Sinjaba, and Sinjaba challenged her to a duel after revealing that he was in fact every barista in the city. They began to duel, and on all levels except physical, Sinjaba was a blade. They managed to duel each other from the window to the wall to the narrow train car halls to a standstill. And oh, hey, it's Chuckle. He's on top of a train. And now he's fighting Pablo. Oh, hey, Johan's also there. But he's trying to open a door. He's not having a great time. Deviano's also there. He's trying to open the door. It's not working. Either way, Deviano and Chuckle get to fighting Pablo while Johan uses a ham-on super move to open a door, and then nearly gets ripped off the train because of it. After a little more fighting, Pablo makes his way in through the window because those doors are really hard to break, apparently, and Chuckle teleports in after him. Before everyone actually gets on the train, Rain and Sinjaba are still fighting, and well, after Rain realizes that you can't attack and defend at the same time, a very important element of martial arts, mind you, she feels, in the midst of the fight, she feels one whole emotion. It's pretty great, and it instantly KOs her. Then everyone else gets on the train, and Johan tries to show off his resolve. And oh hey, it's Chuckle again. He broke the sound barrier and lifted up a whole train just to knock two people over. Either way, back to Johan showing off his resolve. He's fighting Sinjaba, and Sinjaba's kicking his ass because resolve and a new haircut aren't the same thing. Sinjaba having dropped Johan down into new haircut health, Johan tries to burst, but guess what? He can't. But you know who can burst? It's Deviano. He brings out Stroke Race and then makes Yojo burst. And when Yojo bursts, it isn't Water Jesus this time. Guess what? It's a shark with a jetpack that can swim inside of walls. The two samurai, Pablo and Sinjaba, run away, and oh hey, it's Chuckle. He drops a whole train just to knock people over again. And then a shark comes out of the floor actually, and attacks them. But guess what? A shark with a jetpack might be cooler than one samurai, but unfortunately, it is not cooler than two samurai, as they do inevitably manage to defeat this shark with a jetpack and return to the front of the train. Deviano shows off his mastery over masochism by causing Sinjaba incredible pain to the eyeballs. And let's see, what happens? This is a long episode to recap.
You're doing great!
Give me a hot second here to make sure I know where I am. Okay, so then what does happen after that? Now I know eventually
they fight the shark.
They already killed him.
Something happens, and then Sinjaba gets something.
Either way, Sinjaba walks over to where Chuckle is. Chuckle is all like, "Hey, I threw my rotation on some train tracks, and then I threw it into Rain, and then they all and then Rain and Sinjaba disappear because Rain felt a second emotion." Apparently, those emotion things are real volatile, huh? Let's see that. Then after that, Pablo decides it's time for his last stand. And then a tank fires at the train.
Yeah,
that happened. Knocking Pablo's face mask off, revealing that he's not the most attractive guy, but that's fine. That's fine. No one has a problem with this. Yojo pulls out his new Ocean Man. It's good. It's CG and everything. And then manages to defeat Pablo. Pablo asks for a samurai's death, and Yojo goes, No thanks, you're just a part of the system. We live in a society. And Pablo starts to agree with him, but then he gets shot in the head by Deviano. Meanwhile, Sanjayva takes a trip down memory lane, seeing Pablo again before he and Pablo hated life, and then seeing Mary before he and Mary hated life. Pablo tells him to stop being such a bitch baby, and Mary tells him about the goodness of friendship. And now he's in the void with Rain. And Rain decides, hey, she couldn't beat him. Hey, maybe she's not that great. But then Sanjayva tells her, hey, you gained something good from this fight. You didn't beat me, but you got something worthwhile. Keep that sword. This is good stuff. Oh, hey, it's Chuckle. He ripped a hole in space-time. Just to see if Rain is okay. He's pretty glad that Rain is okay, and Sanjay leaves to finish his fight. Sanjay was pretty angry that Pablo's dead, and decides that now it's time for his last stand. He takes out his sword, reads it in his stand, and prepares for an epic final battle. And battle he does until Ocean Man's eating Sanjay. Ocean Man's eating Sanjay. Yeah, well, at least they arrived at the train station safely, I guess. Oh yeah, and Roy's on some cheeky Toneho shit. Someone should probably start worrying. Oh no. I think that's it for the recap.
On the top of J City, the spire itself, JamiroCorp's headquarters, the CEO is walking down the hallway, alongside someone in particular, moving upwards to a compatriot she knows. They step upwards, and the one person, named Peter, addressing two guards, finishes discussion. They both scatter off, going to grab something important. He then turns, and, seeing his friend, speaks up to her. Mary, oh goodness, what are you doing down? He then realizes that her expression, well, there isn't one. He knows that means that there's quite a lot going on inside of her head. She's okay right now. It's fine. And he stops a second, turning over and looking at the individual who is right. He blinks for a second. Oh, Polka Dot's a new one. Hey, what's your name?
BB.
Oh, BB. He looks back to Mary. What happened to the last one? Mary looks, nothing. Anyways, she kind of looks forward. What's going on inside of... The moment she stops, suddenly the individual behind her kind of moves past her, brushing through her arm and just kind of... or past her arm, and then stepping over in the direction of this growth of flowers down the hallway. Let's see. Mary just kind of sighs a bit as Peter looks. Something going on? What are they for? Mary kind of stops for a second, staring forward. Her face is stone solid. Intern. She moves up, walking past the soldiers as the individual, BB, is just peeking through the window, looking on inside. There's a growth around the windows you can barely see. You see a woman on the inside clutched up against a wall, and past her, someone in a cell, hard to see. The bramble is threatening to grow past the small little eye hole you have any second now, though.
Is that supposed to happen?
No, it's not. Ruth is inside of there, and she ended up bursting her stand into this. She waves her hand, and that's not entirely a good thing. I'm afraid there's going to be a slight issue with us doing our planned operation. She seems to have trouble speaking slightly. She moves past a soldier getting out of her way as she approaches the window and looking inside. Peter follows up. Don't worry, Mary. As I said, everything's okay right now. Mary turns back slightly. She's been in there for a week now.
What?
Yeah. Peter says, yes, she's been in there for a week. I believe the stand has been taking energy from the captive. She's fine. Well, both of them are fine. Mary stops a bit, turning back. Regardless, she looks at BB. We need to open this door first, but unfortunately, anyone who steps inside will not be able to withstand Ruth's ability. So she kind of like puts her hands in front of hers. You can understand, we might be delayed with the liquidation.
Yeah, okay. And this isn't normal? Like, she doesn't do that often?
No, she doesn't. She hasn't done it in a few years, actually. She shouldn't have been let in there. Mary kind of looks in herself one more time, peeking inside. And then looking at Peter kind of moving up to the child. So, where do you stand on the polka dot hierarchy?
What?
You know, he kind of looks around. Unclassified individuals around him. He can't really speak so much about it. Do you know the good doctor?
Oh, yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I'm like... I don't know, they're kind of like an uncle, I guess, maybe.
Right, I see. He, gave you... You're an intern now. Do you know what happened to the last intern?
I don't know, I was a kid. I guess he had to go to school or something.
Peter blinks.
I just thought this was job shadowing. One day he was like, hey, you want to hang out with this lady I know? She'll give you money. I was like, alright.
Peter has a pitying face. He just kind of pats you on the shoulder. You're doing great, kid. Good luck.
What grade was that kid in anyway? You're to school, right?
Yeah, I think he's in... fifth grade or something. Yeah. Peter walks off, scratching his head. A bit unfortunate. Mary tinily takes a step back, and she starts to step towards the door itself. With that, Peter, looking back, bolts backwards and pushes past you, BB, and grabs onto her shoulder.
Whoa!
Whoa, hang on. She stops, looking at him, an empty expression on her face. As always. Don't go inside there. We can take care of it. I'm afraid that I want to get this dealt with as quick as possible. Mary. He looks her in the face. We can take care of it. You have a lot of important things to be running right now. The other ones are still running out there, for example. Roy is captured, but the others need to be taken care of. And I know you're busy with that, but Mary interrupts him. I'm afraid that should be taken care of now. I don't have to worry about that. Who did you... I sent the cleaning. Oh, of course. But anyways, you should try to get some rest and work on some of the other business. There's going to be a lot of trouble coming up after the Black Star merger starts to go through. Yes, perhaps you're right. But she looks back. Make sure she's okay and don't let Roy get away. Right. If we're lucky, she should just take care of it for us. Peter slips past, moving past BB carefully. Sorry for bumping you.
Oh, no, it's okay. Is this a real gun?
Yes, it's a real gun. The guy on the other end, hey, wanna take a peek at it?
Can I?
Yeah.
He looks at Mary.
No. She gives you the discerning look. She stares at you in binary. It is intimidating.
Okay, fine. That guy you said, his name was Roy.
Yes.
That was the guy they got?
Yes, it was.
Is that him in there?
Yes.
He doesn't look so bad. Look, he's all skinny.
Mary stops for a moment, looks at him. Looks can be deceiving, BB. She looks at him, and gazing at him and how he looks, to think that this kid is a result of Fat Man. Biafra.
I don't know, he looks pretty sad.
Well,
I mean, I'd be sad if I were covered in flowers for like a week straight, too.
Well, sometimes bad people being sad could be rather... She stops for a moment, considering what she's saying. Yeah, he does look sad. But she grabs onto BB's ear and pulls him away from the window.
Okay, I'll go. Okay, let go.
All right. We're going to go do something else. You're gonna help me with paperwork. I'll teach you how this carbon interface works another time.
Okay. I kind of wanted to do that today because paperwork sucks, and you told me we'd do it today, but alright.
She wordlessly walks off, taking one last glance behind her, leaving Flowers of Evil to do its work. A chasm. Empty except for a floor. It is absolutely covered in filth. Red. Perhaps blood? That seems about right. It's so quiet in here. And a darkness so piercing that even you cannot see more than just a few feet in front of you.
Everything's gone. Everything. Everyone. There's nothing.
Late autumns.
There's nothing, is there?
Springtime steeped in mud.
Everybody's gone.
The drowsy seasons I love, and I praise you for enfolding my heart.
The words have repeated over and over for a while now. There is no audience for these words. Only a floor covered in red, viscous liquids. Beyond that, the individual just continues to walk. Slowly, he just seems to forget. There's no one to tell after all. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. There's no reason to really remember anything. Memory is just, inconvenience. An inconvenience to walking, moving. The only reason he keeps talking is because he needs to remind himself. Remind himself why he doesn't need to think anymore. He simply moves around. This vast area, simply billowing with some strange, echoing wind as feet step across a barren floor. And eventually, the feet cease moving, as even the individual, the thing walking around this room, no longer feels the need to walk anymore. And stand.
He collapses.
You sit down. You hit the dirt.
Ground. Mm-hmm.
And where the others have been, it has been quite some time. The Love Shack. One singular android has been walking around. She has taken steps. Her movement has also been rather aimless. She has simply taken steps around and tried to process things on the move. It may even be just considered something that is done not out of any kind of obligation, perhaps the philosophy that to continue moving the chances of running into anyone are rather slim.
I heard that walking is supposed to help you think, but yeah, not helping me particularly much. She moves around like swinging her arms and legs, traveling through the hallway. Thunk, 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 thunk. Ugly metal impacts. She spins around a corner, overly dramatic, and almost disconnected to her overly flamboyant movements, her face remains a steady, almost set expression, a peculiar contrast to every move she makes. Certainly is a lot to turn over. Well, thinking about it, it's absolutely, comically, infinitely small, but why is it so much? Why is it so damn much? She bites her lip, but continues pirouetting in place, moving her way down the hallway.
You hear something behind you. You stop and turn. It seems maybe it was drawn by your talking out loud, but an individual steps out. One you've seen many times, of course. And the moment you see Chuckle, your mind processes everything. In this state, you simply remember. You remember the most poignant and recent reaction, the thing that probably has the most weight in your mind with Chuckles at this moment. You stop, and in a split second, you process an entire moment.
Dope. Before the train incident.
Hey, so, I was actually wanting to talk to you about something.
Yeah, is it about Young?
Kinda. I'll just get straight to the point. Rain, I'm not gonna be around forever. One day I'm gonna either die or hell I might get ripped back to my home. And that's why I want to, well, do as much as I possibly can while I'm still here. Which is why I was coming here to ask you, well, my rotation. It's weak. Back when I fought Betty, it was powerful then, but that was more of like popping open a can of soda. It lost all of its fizz that one fight. It's been building up for some time.
Rain, as if considering the metaphor a little too literally, does tip her head to the side. You were shaken up pretty bad in that fight. Apparently that makes the logic click for her. Okay. Well, if I'm going to be honest, the concept that you, will eventually pass from this world in one way or another is something that I've turned over a lot. Because, well, taps her body. I probably won't. So, that's something that I'm aware of on my end, at least. But if there's anything I could do to ease that knowledge on your end, I would gladly help. Would enhancing your rotation assist this? Rain is confused, trying to link up the logic in her head.
Yeah, well, like I said, I want to try doing as much as I possibly can, and well, since rotation is tangibly tied straight to my emotions, I need your help helping me burst out more of that than once. And honestly, you more than anybody are as best at pulling emotions out of people.
Rain doesn't actually know how to process that. She stops for a second, thinks, and goes, okay. Information registered. Very well. How can I assist in this case?
Well, I was thinking. As a spin user, you suck things inwards. As a rotation user, I push things outwards, so I was wondering, perhaps we could try some form of exercise. Have you suck up my rotation and see how much of it I can produce at once.
That seems... That seems useful. However, a large part of my schematics are designed to perfectly emulate and contain the rotation within my body. Simply put, if I ever lost an arm or was hit in the gut particularly bad, I would no longer be able to make the perfect spin. So, you adding additional strain to the system might work. It might not work at all. It might work fine, or the inverse, what I'm actually more afraid of, it might work too well. The results might become unpredictable. Are you prepared for that?
The last thing I ever want to happen is to see you get hurt. If it hurts you, then I wouldn't want to do it, but if you think that we might be able to work through that, then we can.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll give it a shot at least. I don't know what this is gonna do, but yeah, let's give it a shot. Something's cooking in the back of Rain's mind. Something's not sitting right, and like you can clearly tell that, but it's not coming out. She's not expressing it properly. Tips her jaw back and forth. Okay. So
Something eating at you?
yes, but I don't know what it is. It's driving me a little insane. I'm hoping I'll find it out, but yeah, no. There's nothing. I double-checked, triple-checked, quadruple-checked, 1,000 times checked, but it's nothing. She folds her hands, smiles, and leans in. So spin training.
Look, a big part of this whole rotation thing, like I said, has to do with the emotions, and it won't work if you're not being honest with yourself, so... He puts his hand on your shoulder. If you ever need to talk, remember, I'm always here to listen.
Rain exhales. That's the problem here. I don't think I know how to talk.
Well, I suppose we could just keep on going until you can figure it out, but do you think maybe what you're feeling right now has something to do with Yang?
Yeah, let's talk about Yang.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
And I believe that's where the memory ends.
Mm-hmm.
At least for now.
Mm-hmm. And from that, you remembered a talk about Yang. A talk about spin, emotion, and you kind of stand there for a second. The moment of about 5 seconds of staring, and that 1 second you process the memory, and 4 seconds you decided your next action. Very obvious. The only thing you really ought to do in this situation.
Rain strides forward, still completely, and, still at odds. That conversation ended. She immediately traveled, talked to Devi, shaken up on her own right, still wasn't able to struggle out her own words. Then met Sanjayba, and, that happened. The most recent encounter that both Chuckle and Rain had was Rain vanishing into the ether with Sanjayba, overcome by something. She strides forward. Chuckle,
Hey.
I wanted to talk.
Hey, sir.
Okay, you go first.
Well, first, I wanted to say, after what happened at the train, I think we should stop the rotation training.
Stop. Why?
Well, after what happened, you went... You disappeared. You went berserk for a split second, and then I panicked and I tried my damnedest to find you, and my big concern is, what if one day we do that, it happens again, you disappear somewhere where I can't reach? If that happens, then I don't know what I'd do. You're my best friend and I love you, and I don't want anything to happen to you, no matter what.
Rain stops and thinks. She's turning this over in her head repeatedly again and again and again. That encounter with Sanjayba on the train, that flood of emotions. I think... She stops. I think we need to continue, now more than ever. For a moment, I felt like I was having a breakthrough, like I was feeling something. It's... Chuckle, for a moment, I felt what I see in you. She stops and just tries to pull her self together. It's rare for the android to get this mixed up. Look, I don't know how to put this. When you told me that spin and rotation, when they interacted, emotions could be shared. Yes, sure. I was ready for one of two outcomes. I was ready to feel nothing, and have it confirmed finally, once and for all, that I'm some sort of inhuman machine, and that's something that I could work with. I could build processes, emulate something. Or the alternative, I was ready to genuinely feel emotion and all that wonderful friendship stuff, hooray. Holds her hands up in a sham of Mary's motion from earlier. However, what I felt was something different. Takes another step forward. What I felt was junk data. It was a rush of emotion that tried to connect up. I genuinely felt what you felt. I felt what you are to me, absolutely. But it was like a burning coal in my chest. It was something that ate away at my innards and drove me mad for a second. She strides around, reflecting to herself as she speaks. If that's something that you have, I want to understand it. I want to take it and I want to figure it out. I want to dismantle it and I want to figure out what that is. You have something inside of you, that emotion that I don't. That feeling of love, of friendship, it's something that I thought I had. It's something that I genuinely believed I had based on watching others, but I can tell you now, I don't have it. I'm hollow, I'm empty in that regard. So, even if it hurts me, I want to see more of that. Even if it sends me far away, I need to see more of that. I need to comprehend it. She's looking at you, Chuckle. She's a little like, you can tell she's weirdly focused, but definitely not 100% the Rain you knew.
Rain, I want to support you, but I can't possibly do that if you're going to do something that's going to lead to your self-destructing.
Hey, I don't know. As it stands, I feel like I'm going to self-destruct as it is. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I'm doing it. And that moment drove it home, because I felt something. Chuckle, you are a great friend to me. I don't think I'm a friend to you. That's not who I am.
His eyes kind of widen for a second and go back to normal. His mouth says, Rain, you've been my closest friend for the longest time, and even if you don't feel that way right now, I think I need to. He just walks this way.
Rain sort of just watches him go and kind of scratches at the side of her head, completely unable to process anything of what just happened. She takes one step, exhales once, claps, and resumes her usual carefree walk.
Rain, you hear a voice behind you the moment you reach the elevator. Oof, rather heartless, aren't you? That voice, it's familiar. You've heard it before. It clicks. It didn't moderate in your brain because you never thought it would be there. You locked it away as a voice you'd have to hear and remember. But you remember it now. And it performs its original tone.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? A goddamn machine without emotions.
Rain tips her head to the side.
What? You don't even recognize me? Of course you don't. Why would you remember me? Why would you remember the dead? No one will remember you when you're gone, so why should you remember anyone? That's right, Rain. You're fucking worthless. You are meaningless. All you do is be a burden to the other people around you. Can't you see? Whenever we fight against 10 users or other machines, you just drop dead in the middle of the fight and we have to resuscitate you after. Because you are worthless! You are nothing!
Rain tips her head to the side and, like, as if setting it all in at once, she kind of nods. Admittedly, my performance in fights could have been improved, but simultaneously, you are one of the reasons, you're one of the big reasons I carry on, you know? She tries to, she tries to act cool or emotionless.
This is great. Me, a reason for you to fight on. Don't you realize you threw it all away last fight? Just think about it a little bit. Well, did you even have a motivation to begin with? Oh, I want to destroy a megacorp. Oh my, such brave, such heroic ideals. He gets really close to your face. Empty. All of them. You are a sham. You are nothing. Nothing! And, like I said before, all you ever do is to hurt those around you. You hurt Chuckles so bad. He must be hurting so bad right now. That man would die for you. Would you be able to do the same for him? No, of course you wouldn't, because you have to accomplish that empty ideal of yours. You are nothing, Rain. You will never be nothing. Sorry, you will never be anything. You will never accomplish anything because your ideals are empty.
You notice glitches forming across his body as he messes up words, begins to kind of falter out, and he just kind of
nothing.
He seems to just give you a grin at that point. No more words, just that smile you always remembered, almost like a picture. At which point he simply follows behind you.
Rain exhales once, processing the words, but not sorting them or putting them where they need to be. Just junk data floating around in her empty skull. She takes a few steps away, travels down the hallway with the specter following behind.
You're running away, aren't you? Because you can't face reality. All you do is live in that fantasy world of yours, where everything will turn out alright in the end. All your companions are breaking apart, Rain. You can see it, can't you? Oh, it's great. Look at Johan. He has no motivation whatsoever. All he has is revenge. And you just broke Chuckles apart. Presley, she's locked in her room crying. Roy is captured. We don't know what happened to him. Is he dead? Is he alive? It's probably your fault, too.
That's enough about Roy. It's weird. Something caused a spike of emotion for her there. She sighs and tries to move away from the specter.
The elevator goes down. A barrage of insults follows you. As you simply...
You're worthless, meaningless, absolute, devoid of reason to exist.
Whoops. That's not there. Whoops. Whoopsie daisies. Wow.
Uncle, that was fucking great.
I'm super evil and I love it.
Dude, you're killing it.
Brennan. Brennan, you there?
Oh, I'm here.
Hey, Brennan. How's your computer going? Pretty well?
Oh, it's going.
Right. Presley, you stare, clicking on the computer screen, and simply moving your hands across it, gliding. The information's in. You've been parsing it for a little while, but you've kind of put it off after coming back. You haven't really gotten out of bed recently, but you're about ready. You still have a heavy heart, and you haven't left. But in front of you, you finally sorted through all of the information you took from JamiroCorp. You click into the file, the carbon interface projects. There are 16 entries on these files. 16 experiments, complete with the doctor's notes, intended purpose, and test subjects. You're just setting those because you were playing Pablo last.
Oh yeah, no, those have been here.
Oh yeah. You click on and, well, might as well start from the top. Selection. Test subject R1001. Alive. Test subject Laurent Brankowitz.
Hold on 1 second, sorry.
Mm-hmm. Alright, no problem. A little bit of breather is fine, honestly.
Did I do good?
You did so good! Holy fuck!
Yep.
I just also finally put Angra in his element. Yeah, you got that right.
Everyone's chat's like, you're fucking killing it, Angra.
You did good, boy. Oh, you're making me proud.
Oh, boy!
You did a good job, laddie.
Feed me the data.
Oh, you're back? Alright.
Guess I'm a ghost again.
Ghost.
You continue clicking away, and Lauren Brankowitz. Alive. First test subject. No intended goal. Only survival. Effectiveness. Some notes include the processes. Lauren Brankowitz is probably the best subject we've gotten so far. I feel bad for the kid. But regardless, the project has moved forward as intended. We've successfully managed to turn on the machine, and processing is going fine. We've actually succeeded in creating a carbon interface, a robot that can live inside, with a human battery, essentially. Though that was not the only experiment, with this project at least. It was also to test if a stand could live, if someone could take a stand of any type of origin and match a creator's motivation with it, to create an ability that could benefit the company. Lauren Brankowitz, as a child, simply wanted to survive. His ability manifested as similar. Evolution, in a way, except more for self-defense. We'll have to continue experiments with that. However, Alive simply manifests ways for it to live past injuries. This is a decent stand ability, but very self-interested. We will keep Alive offline for now. That's one. The next one, you click R1002, Discovery. Discovery is a first model of a detective robot. A part of a process and curiosity for us to make a robot with a goal and objective, but not have their stand ability particularly relate to it. And for that, you kind of look into the details a bit more, and you start to piece together when you read an ability. Discovery was an android that had the ability to redirect forces from different locations. And with that, you realize something. A detective robot that can redirect forces. This is Face. Except, Face isn't named Discovery. He must have renamed himself. He was developed for a PR campaign if they ever decided to go out with their robot project. To maybe cover their tracks and show that they were designing with intentions of public use for good reasons. You take the notes down. Along every one of these, you also get the blueprints, the general design specs, and all these things. One more click going down the list. Oh, as one more note. R1002 Discovery's name in real life was Roma Anthony. Less on that subject.
Names.
You continue reading. And, let me turn you up a bit, it's kind of quiet for me. Okay. Torch. Torch, okay, this was one that you actually disabled. You kind of skip past the details on this one. The Breakbot Squad, when you're in it. A robot that could control fire. Simple enough. Moving down. Emotion. Louis Vega. This robot was an attempt to create an infinite amount of resources. Although successful, the project seemed to fail because the actual robot itself could only keep resources up while it was functional. If used for any practical purpose, infrastructure would fall apart upon its destruction. You glance at the subject themselves, Louis Vega, 6 years old. Simply someone who wanted something. A child that didn't particularly understand resources or the value of them. It seems that they took this and were able to push that into the desire they needed to make this robot. R1005, superhero. Armand Anthony. And you stop for a moment at that, realizing that Roma Anthony and Armand Anthony, same family. And then you think back to Johan and you realize that, well, I guess it's just a theory that these kind of things could happen. Regardless, Roma Anthony, around 11 years old, was another child subject, the third. This one successfully managed to incorporate the idea of a stand that could become 100% completely inclined with their original stand. Simply the desire to chain things together, but throw it into a new desire of being a protector of justice. Again, another project for the publicity stunt. However, the doctor's notes goes into great details about how he was more interested in just seeing how the family could affect things and what they could get away with that. Dr. Biafra's notes conclude on the fact that Armand Anthony was probably the most successful one to date. Next up, R1006, High Life, Brian Wilson. Just a test of their abilities, seeing what they could possibly do for other kinds of fields, though perhaps not effective for mass production. To blanket a term under a fashion line model could allow them to experiment a bit with seeing exactly what they could get away with different kinds of stand abilities. Mary had shown an interest in trying to find at least something else, something more, something a bit grander than what they've done before. So testing the boundaries, those of course within limitations, was her biggest goal. Crescendo's was an attempt, or High Life was an attempt to fit into any kind of clothing or anything it was wearing. The subject, Brian Wilson, a serial killer, turned out to be the wrong form of subject for this experiment. Crescendo's fixed that issue with Daniel Vanguard, a fashion model who, in the end, seemed to be a better fit. All of these stand users, Presley, and Dr. Biafra continues his notes, looking down the list, talking in a surprisingly large amount of detail about every single person here. R1008, Roller, Guy Manuel de Homem Cristo. The first robot of a pair they were going to work on, an attempt to make robots that could complement each other. Mary was rather interested in seeing this. Roller was simply designed as a construction bot to grab up any kind of screws or small metal pieces left at a site to help clean it up before laying down anything like supports. Rather useful, and combined with Scratcher, the CI, which is Thomas Bangalter, was able to slice away any kind of metals in front of it. Together, they have formed a rather interesting duo. You remember them rather well. They collapsed a roof on your head. You almost died. That all feels so long ago, though. Regardless, R1010, Voyager, Todd Edwards. an automated vehicle guidance system that was supposed to be used for the entirety of J City to maximize traffic. A stand that could control any kind of vehicle moving on the road without any kind of GPS system, so even people trying to bypass the GPS system to drive cars manually and could be forced to stop. This was rather successful, except for the issue with its design. In order to create safe zones, they managed to make humans a stopping point. Never running into a human was priority. It seems that, however, when it was set out into the world, whoever reprogrammed these things before launching them out flipped that desire, where the only safe way was to drive through humans. You look at the individual, Todd Edwards, a politician, very interested in pushing traffic safety and getting highways back in the hands of the government. His disappearance was a favor for Black Star, it seems. Continuing down. R1011, aerodynamic. CI, Betty White. A plane with a stand that controls the wind. It seemed to have been, if you remember correctly... Wait. The CI. That name. You remember now. You heard them talking about it. You weren't there, but that was someone you knew. Taking a look at the doctor notes, you find listings about taking leftover parts of someone they found and putting them inside of a stand. The research was kind of limited, since the parts taken from the individual were rather limited, meaning that the stand itself did not have all of the functions completely sorted out. It could control itself in flight, but the air around it was not exactly clear. So, as a result of that, it was just kind of kept in a hangar, not really considered much. The doctor seems rather, well, cheeky in his notes, talking a bit about how devious Mary is, and says a few scathing remarks in her direction. R1012, harder, better, faster, stronger. Pedro Winter. A robot designed to test a self-modifying machine that could adapt to any situation. An expansion of Alive. It implanted desire to seek improvement when encountering any problem. It shows evolution, which was the goal. You saw what happened, and you saw its transformation into technologic. And perhaps there is a point where evolution needs to stop. Regardless. R1013 Instant Crush. Juan Atkins. This was the assassin robot they made for very practical purposes. And, looking deeper into it, you notice that, well, Juan Atkins was an assassin. This stand was simply another test for a practical purpose. As so far, that seems to be the rule. But the next one is when things get a little interesting. You notice the doctor talking about rather strangeness, a rather strange change in Mary's focus, as if she's pushing for something more. The doctor talks about how obsessed Mary is with her mental health, as if she has any. And speaks of the next android in this light. An android known as R1014, Music. CI, Frankie Knuckles. She was a good subject. An aspiring musician, stand user, someone within JamiroCorp. Must have pulled her off. Regardless, it seems to have been an experiment to affect moods with music. You don't particularly know how it went. It was still in testing by the time that everything happened, and it let flee. And finally, the last one let roost. R1015, High Fidelity. Andre Rommel Young. It was simply an AI designed to upgrade a stand. Biafra spoke of this one. This was a request specifically from Mary. It seems that this was not entirely effective. It didn't work on the carbon interfaces, for one. And two, it didn't really infuse stands on anyone, which seems to be what Mary wanted. Finally, you stop and look past. R1015 was the last one set loose, but there's a third one, or a 16th one. One that you didn't see before, but you've heard the name of. R1016.touch. Joan Joestar. The sapient AI created by Dr. Biafra. This machine itself created an effort to control the grid, control all of the information spread throughout the city. Its range is long, and its location is secret and not even in this document. The doctor talks slightly about this subject, and you put your hands away from the screen for a moment as you finish reading through the list. You stare ahead. The name Joan Joestar still on screen in front of you. As you look, you copy down some notes, and you reach in your pack to pull out a piece of paper to attempt to copy this on hard notes, just in case anything went wrong. And copying it over, you find a mysterious paper inside of your bag that you didn't see before, actually. You kind of look at it for a second, when then suddenly a knock at the door occurs. From the doorway, Presley, two individuals stumble in. One familiar to you and surprising, the other familiar to you and concerning. They take steps inside.
Hello, can we
Yin.
come in?
You're already inside.
Fair enough. Rain tentatively moves across the carpet.
Yin, kind of hands in her pocket, a rather grim expression, kind of moves past and just lets Rain talk first. She kind of looks at her, seeming to have agreed to this. She sits on Presley's bed a bit, kind of ruffled.
Okay, so Rain looks at the room completely like Love Shack dorm room, fucking devoid of any type of furniture. She takes a few spaces this way, gets up on the fucking dresser and crosses her legs. So, Yin and I have been talking. We've been a little worried about you.
Mm-hmm.
Worried about me.
Yes.
Presley doesn't look away from the computer.
Yeah, you haven't been outside in a while. It's reminding us a lot of Johan, to be honest. We
I don't
wanted
think I can grow a beard.
Well, that's that. We just wanted to stop by, looks to Yin for confirmation, to see if you needed anybody to talk to.
I should talk to you. I think I have something I need to say.
Okay. Well, according to someone, I'm the best at drawing emotions out of anybody here. So, Rain looks troubled saying that. There's nobody
ironic.
better. What? Can it be done with, looks at Yin, like, eyes drift slightly over to Yin, but hydraulic android motions don't make subtlety easy.
I think it's better if she left for now.
Okay.
Yin kind of looks at you a bit. Oh, wait, outside. She seems to have a serious expression on her face. Something you haven't really seen her before, her being cheery. She waits outside as you talk with Rain.
Okay. What did you want to talk about?
Rain?
Yes.
A week ago, I watched a pair of lips give the order that killed Yang. I saw a hand grab Roy by the collar and drag him away from us. A pair of eyes that looked into my eyes and didn't see enough of a threat to do anything further. Those were your lips, your hand, your eyes.
Rain kind of slouches slightly. I heard the reports. I heard you came face to face with Mary.
Rain, when you started your quest to take down a mega corporation, with a paper clip. Did you think about all of the families, the lives, the people you'd uproot? Did you think about me? Did you think about my parents losing their job, my siblings losing their futures?
No, actually. Rain reflects. Honestly, I thought that toppling a giant would benefit everybody in the larger term, and I didn't care particularly much how I got there. What you said is more or less true. However, there's one point of deviation. She hops up. You know what machines are capable of better than anyone.
I do.
I don't care about most people. Most families, they're not a factor. I have to tune them out as white noise. However, there was an exception I made. Considering what you're looking at, she looks over at the computer. I don't think I need to pull my punches on this. She takes a few steps over and takes Yin's place on the bed. Presley, did you ever find out what happened to the other people that interned with the Breakbot squad?
I haven't gotten to those files yet, no.
Rain sighs. Look, before we joined up with Johan, before we joined up with you, we were put on cases that unfortunately left us with hard decisions. We were forced to overlook a few individuals who went missing after their involvement with carbon interfaces. Believe it or not, we had to seal a large part of our hearts, and it was a decision that Chuckleroy and I made that, in your case, we couldn't do that anymore. I know no part of this is fair to you. It never was, but I figured the best place for you to be, after JamiroCorp had gotten its hooks so deep into you, it wasn't with them. God, it wasn't even with me or Chuckle. It was with Roy. Something almost sparks in the side of Rain's memory. She actually, visibly slams the side of her head. Sorry, something just clicked for me. God. She doubles over on the bed. Look, she looks pained now. I don't think what's happened to you approaches fair. I don't think anyone should have to go through that. And up until recently, I would have argued that I was fighting for people like you. But I don't think that's the case anymore. But in this case, in this one alone, we wanted to change things. We wanted to make sure that when there was a gun pointed at you, there was at least somebody in the way.
And you got this idea based on a feeling.
Rain sighs. If you want... Here. She moves over and actually produces a flash drive. These are files related to those associated with the Breakbot squad. They've disappeared. Their families have disappeared with them. Whether that means they're dead, gone, or just moved to a black site somewhere, who knows. But Presley, if you'd gone back empty-handed, or even if you'd succeeded at the job, JamiroCorp wouldn't have let you go. I'm sure you realize it by now, but you're not allowed to walk away clean in this world.
Yeah, I think I figured that out at this point. And I guess that means I should thank you.
No. Rain looks down. Maybe at one point, yeah. But there were dozens of better ways to handle this, and I have to apologize to you for that. There were dozens of chances for you to get out of this life and escape with your family, but I kept you around because part of me wanted to feel like I was doing something good for someone, and it isn't fair of me to keep you around as some sort of morality pet. So, yeah.
You said that word again. Feel.
Is the emotional emulation off-putting? I can switch it off if you'd prefer.
No, I think that's the other problem.
Yes.
You take a copied form. You speak a copied language. You're an imitation of life. But there's one thing you can't copy. Because looking at these carbon interfaces, I've seen the zeros and ones of the human soul. Life broken down into binary. And even then, when I look at it, some things don't add up. But if I look into your head, which I have, or if I were to look into Mary's head, everything is logic. Everything adds up. I can look into your head and understand everything. And for that reason, I don't know that we can be equals. Because you're either our tool or our master, Rain.
Rain folds her hands, the words striking deep. Okay, yeah, that's a kinder way to put that than I received recently. I can't fault you for thinking that.
If it makes you feel better, I could change a few zeros and ones around in your head.
No.
And you would be just like her. Maybe I should. Because that way, it'll hurt less when you don't feel anything after we die.
Rain stops. Okay. If I were so simple, you'd think I would have figured it out by now, but I think I'm starting to learn that people can accomplish things that I can't. I like to believe that I'm not a carbon copy of Mary, but I don't have the grounds to refute that at this point.
You really don't.
However,
go ahead.
I do know I have one thing. Our experiences differ. Our records and our memories differ. While those could likely be shared or transplanted, I get the feeling that this body, she clenches her fist, the place where, she was clenching Sunjaba's sword so tightly, remembers things that my programming doesn't. I want to stake everything on that bet. That the me that's here right now is something distinct. What that means, I have no idea, but I'd like to believe that, for my own sake at least.
I think I want to believe that for our sake too.
Presley, she stops.
You don't think that Mary had friends? A team? Your memories differ, but at the end of the day, it's the same inputs. Aren't you just one misinput away from being just like her?
It's not like I haven't considered it. It's not like I've not endlessly run simulations trying to drive myself towards that conclusion. I don't have an answer for that. If I did, I probably wouldn't hurt so bad. I want to be able to tell you that I won't become just like Mary, but I can't. I'd like to believe that I'm something more, but I can't promise you anything. For...
And I don't need your promises, because I've decided that it's up to me to fix everything. And I will use your help. That's fine. But at the end of the day, this ends with my hands around Mary's neck.
Rain sighs. Presley, Look, there's still time. You see what this has done to Johan. You've seen how he's changed. I wanna give you a chance. I don't know what part of me wants this, but I want to give you a chance to walk away if you need it. So I'll do everything within my power, which, if you believe that I'm anything close to Mary, you know is considerable. 1, you can walk away from all of this. I'll do whatever I can to make sure you and your family sneak away fine. I have one last trump card that I can pull to make sure that you are fine, and you can live out the rest of your life however you want. Or 2, Rain looks pained saying this. You can follow down this same damned path that Johan's taking. Into this cursed cesspool of a world. This world isn't kind to people who stand up for people below them. It isn't kind to the people who try. It isn't kind to the heroes it so sorely needs. I think the people who are doing what's right are the biggest victims of all here. So I wouldn't wish that on you. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Rain attempts to smile. It is literally too hard. But Presley, if you stand up here, I'm hoping you can be the last hero we'll ever need.
If you would have asked me a week ago, for my family, for my mom, my dad, my brothers and sisters, my dog, I would have left. But now, I can't let Yang die in vain. So I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix everything. I'm going to continue to bash my head against this wall until it breaks down. And I'm not going to let anybody, here or otherwise, get in my way.
Rain, hearing that resolve, stands up with a heavy heart. I wish I could say that I'd be right there with you, but I don't know if that's the case anymore. I've lost something too recently, and I don't know how much help I can offer you. She takes a step forward as the lights around her body actually begin to sort of like dim, flicker, and gutter out. But whatever help I can offer, please use me as you see fit.
I appreciate that, Rain. But do me one favor. Try not to turn red again.
Rain freezes. I think that's the best point to end the scene. I don't think there's any response she has for that.
Then she could probably walk out of the room.
Fuck. Yeah, no. A few minutes past, Rain leaves the room with a cloudy gaze. Her lights are completely off, and she motions with her head to Yin.
Presley, you
wanders
simply
down the
stare
hallway.
forward, back to your computer. And almost like a tag team, the door opens up again, and someone else walks inside again. She was quiet and waiting patiently, and you see she walks up to the screen and taps you on the shoulder. Hey.
Presley now actually turns away from the screen.
Yin stares at you for a moment. Stand up, real quick.
She does.
Yin, kind of holds you a bit under her arms and then pulls you into a big hug And as you feel her arms wrapping around you, she just says one thing. It's okay to cry a bit, okay? Right?
It is. She takes a deep breath, and she hugs her back. But not yet.
She pulls you away a bit, and her hand goes up and flicks you on the nose as you kind of blink a bit.
Ow!
And, wrong. It is fine to cry now. Okay? She
And
looks at you.
She's bawling.
There we go. She pulls her in again and gives her a hug.
He was so important to me.
Yeah.
I don't think you could. Of course you could.
She smiles at you again. Yeah. Yeah. I do know. And it's hard, you know? I get... It's a little... She takes your hand and pulls you over to the bed and just kind of sits down with it on for a second and then hugs you again. She seems to get control over herself, but is okay and kind of rubbing your back a bit as you cry some more. He's
time to lose the respect of the fan base.
He's a good guy, really, and I'm glad you saw that. He talked to me a bit about how you guys were doing, you know? I think, obviously, I was a little worse than you were when I heard the news, but I didn't really want to talk to anyone, so I locked myself in the room. David was injured, and you were in here.
To lose the respect of the fan base.
I didn't want to ask, even, kind of. I just stayed in my room, and then, well, I got a knock one day, the day after, and, someone came in, and she stayed in there. She got me food, meals. She got me everything I needed, and she just talked to me all day, as long as I needed. She'd give me a hug, help me with anything I needed. She did that for a week. That was your mom, Presley. And she's very worried about you, okay? So, if it's good, I agreed to kind of come here and talk to her, because, well, she's really good, but I guess it's maybe a divide with your child sometimes. Maybe you can't come up and talk to them. She just thought I'd be the best for doing it, so.
She does always tend to know.
Yeah. She's really smart and kind and all that stuff, and I think she's right that it's okay to cry and move on ahead. Makes you stronger, you know? Don't got anything inside. You can just kind of keep walking. And she kind of sniffles a bit too and wipes away her eyes a bit. You just gotta keep doing it and keep going, right?
We do. We don't have any other choice.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that you're welcome with us when I fix this, when I fix everything.
I guess you're kind of similar after all. She said the same thing. And I'm really happy to hear that. I haven't had much family besides Yang for a while, and I think it'd be nice to do that. I'll give you a hand too, okay? Anything you guys need, I'll help out. Even if I can't fight with these stand things, I'm resolved. Okay?
I know you are. And I would love nothing more.
She stands up a bit and holds your hand up. We've got a... Deviano said he was going to host a funeral soon. Or at least a going away ceremony. I wanted to come and get you and bring you down for that. Because Yang isn't the most for ceremony and stuff like that. But I mean, fuck him, we're going to do it anyways.
Yeah, I never listened to him anyway when he was alive.
Yeah, I didn't either. He was a dumbass. And I like that.
Sure
about
was.
him. All right. Let's go toast to dumbass, huh?
To dumbass.
She stepped out of the room with you. As for the first time in a week, you leave your room. The empty chamber, empty, soulless. You finally take steps out into the brighter, at least a brighter world. Still inside the Love Shack. And bolting awake from a nightmare he was having, an individual kind of shoots up. His white hair kind of... Oh, goodness. Oh, quite the loud sleeper there, buddy. It's all right. You're safe. You hear the voice of a man you've met a few times, named David, speaking across from you.
Jan blinks, his eye adjusting to the light.
Oh, can you talk? I think you...
David?
Oh! Whew! Goodness. He stops again. You looked worse than me, and that's saying something. I had about 26 bullet wounds through my chest.
Johan is kind of holding back a tear. Oh, thank God. Thank God at least one of you came back.
Yeah. Two of us. Presley and I.
Presley's okay too?
Presley's okay too, buddy.
God.
I'd come on over and give you a pat on the shoulder if I wanted to, but I'm afraid I can't move. It's very hard. Can you move?
Not really.
Might be the medicine, or that thing they put inside of you.
Thing?
Yeah. He kind of stops for a moment. You were really, really hurt there. Slash wounds all across your body, apparently. I basically heard it all. I mean, nothing else to do when you're laying in bed 24/7. And, yeah, you... Honestly, I'm surprised you're alive as much as I'm surprised I'm alive. He kind of leans up against his bed again. You hear the shuffling sound. So, your friend came by, the Rain. She offered up her Hermon drive for you.
Johan's eyes go cold and she... What?
Calm down, calm down. Just
I don't
get too hysterical, you'll fall off your bed.
I don't understand. Why?
Well, you're a very kind teacher. She said that you had already gotten better than her at it, honestly, and that she didn't really feel like she needed it anymore. And if she could help save your life, then it was well worth it.
Johan kind of moves and sits up a little bit. He flexes his arms and his hands and looks down, and only scars remain. And his hands just fall to the bedside, and he looks down at his lap. I don't deserve it.
Oh, don't go with that. I've said that to myself quite a lot of times, and yet, well, you do deserve it. It's not your call to choose what gifts you think you deserve. You have to respect them when they come. It was her decision. Do you respect her? Do you respect your teacher?
Of course,
In that case, you should respect her decision. I tell you, I gave up spear throwing once an apprentice of mine took it over. Well, I had to use it again in
the war?
Yeah. Huh. Well, enough about that. He kind of stops for a second. You should be able to stand up now, I think. Give it a try and hold on to the bed. I hear you moving over there.
Johan gets up and, with shaky steps, climbs off the bed and grabs his coat, walks over, and kind of leans against this wall right here.
You pass through the curtains and move through, and then he kind of looks at you. You look at him. He certainly looks worse for wear. Bandaged up very much, strapped into some IV units, and just kind of laying down, looking up at you with a paradoxical smile on his face compared to his condition. I'd say this is on the top 5 worst injuries I've ever had.
Johan, worried, but he just kind of lets out a laugh, just trying to mask it. I bet you've seen some action, huh?
Yeah, I have.
You've come out of worse?
Yeah, I have. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I need to tell you about that sometime. Not now. I don't like to think about it. I've been thinking about it quite a lot, since all I can do is lay down.
There's just actually one thing I want to ask you.
Mm.
You've seen comrades die before, right?
Rather somber topic, but I understand why you ask. Yeah, I have.
How do you cope?
Well, it's not a question of coping. Well, how do I put this? Alright. You know how sometimes you'll have a field of ants, and maybe a field of ants in front of your house. You might get rid of the nest, get rid of them, but if anything, the ants will come back, and they'll start biting just as hard and messing with you. He kind of struggles a bit with his words, and then kind of clicks, looks up. Oh, yeah. At the end of the day, you can get rid of it for a bit. You can deal with your problems. But a friend like that will usually always come back to hurt you. You can't really forget that kind of thing. The way you keep moving is really just making sure that you have your own life ahead of you. You're not wasting it. You're doing the best you can. You're living, and occasionally maybe you honor them.
See, I went through this before when Joan was taken from us, and it's something I'm still coming to grips with, but I'm more worried about them. Johan kind of gestures outside. I mean, Rain sacrificed this for me. Shuckle can only imagine what's going on with him right now. Presley, Yang. I came to a realization that revenge isn't enough. That becoming Mary to stop Mary isn't good enough anymore.
Laying on his back, he lifts his hand up, arcing it above his head, and then points a finger at you. That is correct. Revenge is not particularly... It can help you in a moment. If you're in a fight and one of your comrades die, revenge can be quite the motivator, but living that life isn't too good.
So I try to be the opposite. I try to be everything that I believe to be good in this world, and...
He shifts his finger down and then puts his thumb up, and then drifts it downward as a disapproval. That might not be the best either. Though I won't tell you how to live your life. You gotta realize that that's a noble path, but there's a lot of sacrifice on it. You got that?
I think I do.
If that's the case, I'd really just suggest that in that moment, a door slides open, an individual stepping through. You turn around and you look at him. His face, the last thing you saw before you passed out. You simply stand there in silence for a moment.
Oh, you're moving.
Gon looks down and kind of gestures plainly. Yeah, apparently.
Well, that's good. I was coming to check on David. He's still got bandages all over his face where his eye got cut out. It hasn't been healed yet.
Oh, Davino. He looks at Johan. It was a pleasure chatting. If you don't mind, I'd like to...
Johan bumps into him. Just leaves.
There's a funeral happening for Yang soon. Didn't want to do it without you since he was your friend.
Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
As David looks at you, he also looks at something you're holding in your hand. Oh, a shot? For a sick man like me?
Well, you can't make it to the funeral, but I figured a little bit wouldn't hurt.
I'll have a sip, but I think you should take the rest of it, Sonny.
Fine, I guess.
He takes a small sip. Oh. Yeah, no more. He hands it back to you.
Just shoot it down.
David kind of looks. Alright, hold it up.
You know, it's, I don't know how to break the news. The news is...
Yeah.
It's been a short time since Yang, and everyone's been... But I can't keep them on the payroll anymore, and I how do you...
David kind of rubs his temple a bit. I see. Oh. He kind of sits up a bit. His pain of his injuries doesn't really seem to be present on him at all, as he kind of stretches a bit and sits up and stares at you.
Don't hurt yourself, old man.
He stops and looks at you, smiling, and he sees something behind that, and he's like, "Alright, I'm sorry, I will be considerate." He moves slower and sits up, staring at you as you stand in front of him. If you want to break the news to them, well, I'm afraid there's no good time. If you wait too long, you might not get a chance. Keep them here probably won't do well.
No, it won't. After we leave, we have to get everything out of here, move to the base, and can't tell them where it is, obviously. I thought of this as just transactional for a long time. But then you got hurt and everything went wrong for your squad. And somehow I ended up in the field. I don't know why, I don't know how. And how do you tell a friend that you can't be with them anymore at all? How do you tell a friend that you can't support them?
David kind of looks. Exactly that. You tell them. That's all you can really do. There's no nice way to say it. Feelings may be hurt, but if they're your friend, they'll get over it. That's what friends do. He kind of lays back on the bed. I forgive them for what happened. He kind of grabs his wounds a bit. They already saw what happens. They don't need me hating them either. They don't need to. He kind of just lays back a bit. Oh, sorry. Old man isn't too good at,
No, stop. How are you doing with the feelings?
Doing okay. It was worse the first few nights, but I'm getting a hold of myself again. And it sounds like you'll need to get it off your chest and soon enough, or else you'll be where I was 2 days ago, too.
Yes, I guess.
He kind of points at you again, another half-hearted pose on the bed. make sure that you take care of a shot for the ones that couldn't make it. After all, the shot shouldn't be missed.
I'm aware of the tradition, David.
He smiles.
Started it.
Well, he kind of frowns a bit. And, you told him about Roy yet? You did, right?
I told Rain. I imagine the information disseminated.
Yes, probably so. Well, good luck. I'll be here if you need me. He, pulls out a piece of paper underneath his back. And, also, he reaches under his bed a bit and tosses a book at you. Give that to Johan, would you?
What is it?
Oh, it's a javelin throwing book.
Ah, taking another pupil, I see.
Ah, yes. I feel like that boy just... Something about him just makes me want to teach again.
Well, you might have more time for that soon.
Hopefully. Hopefully the book can give a primer. He, lays back against the bed. I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah, you do that. If you need anything, you know, I will literally spend any amount of money to make sure you're good. So, that said, your orders are to get better, and...
Yes, sir. Maybe a gold bed?
Oh, maybe. Alright, get rest.
Will do, sir. Divino, you take steps out. You have a ceremony make. And David lays down. He looks at the ceiling. Whatever I do, I can't seem to shake the sense of vertigo. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Ugh. He lays back against the bed, staring upwards. Meanwhile, he's finally made his steps outward. He's moved through the elevator, and, well, he knows that at the end of this hallway, the Love Shack's exit is waiting.
I can't see anything.
Oh no, what? Let me ping.
There we go.
How about that? Okay. The door opens up for you, Chuckle. And stepping out, yes, the hallway seems to go ahead and then curve around, a looped path to the end of the Love Shack. You know that the door is locked down like a vault, however, it doesn't entirely concern you. After all, Starboy can get you out. It's no problem.
Chuckle walks forward. Tears are welling up in his eyes as he continues walking. He doesn't have his normal hunched stance. His back is straight. He's just walking with his arms swinging side to side.
Lonesome steps across an empty hallway. You passed some staff earlier, but didn't really say a word to them. You just kind of continue making steps. You cough a bit, rubbing your temple a bit. You just feel awful. Every step you take, the tears in your eyes, a tired, dizzy sensation in your head. You just walk. You know, around that corner is the door to the Love Shack, and your way out. Maybe that's where you should be now. Halt, citizen!
Huh?
A figure stands, holding a hand in front of you and acting like he's holding a whistle, but obviously he's not. This path is blocked off. No personnel are required to leave past this point.
I'm sorry, superheroes, but I have to go.
Superhero stops a bit, lowering his arm. You do not have to go. He seems oddly confrontational as he approaches you.
Well,
Chuckle.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Horrible.
The faceless android seems to stare you down, looking at you. Tell me why.
Well, the tears begin streaming down Chuckle's face. Have you ever chased after something for so long because it was the only thing keeping you, well, together in this world, only to find out that maybe you were ripping that thing you were chasing to shreds this entire time?
Absolutely, he replies chipperly. He looks at you, and then pulling out something from his jacket. A handkerchief? A piece of an outfit. It's covered in blood. And you remember that rainy night in front of JamiroCorp headquarters.
That belonged to that boy, right?
Yes, it did.
Whatever happened to him?
He, speaks up. I'm afraid that citizen has perished. But this taught me a lesson. And the lesson begins, he speaks again, going back to a rather monotone voice for a moment. There was a goal that this model proceeded for prior to its restarting. I had a goal to acquire justice at any cost. This goal was to be enforced under the rules of the government and the mega corporation's own law. They are just. That was the assumption that I had created. I had hunted and found many criminals, arrested them, tied them up, let the authorities take them off from that point. This was my mission. And then he holds up the scarf, ties it around his hand, and puts it on your shoulder. You feel the weight of the android as it holds its hand against your shoulder, and despite lacking eyes, you can feel it looking at you. I'd learned that the world was not functioning as it intended. He looks at you. That is okay. It is all right that I was not built for the kind of world that this was known to be. Justice was not something that I found to be absolute. Megacorporations were fighting against the law, what was just. Murdering. Extortion. The government, too. I had realized at that moment that all that I had found, all that I had fought for, was in fact incorrect. My logic parameters had broken, and I decided the only thing to do was take justice down from the top. I moved in, and I ran into the facility, JamiroCorp headquarters. The first CEO I was destined to destroy, Mary Magdalene. I was defeated, destroyed, cast down upon the stones. Do you know why?
Was it because you found that someone else's justice outweighed yours?
Incorrect. My justice was still supreme. In fact, my motivations have not changed between models. However, there was something else. He, looks at you. I had fallen because I was outnumbered. Simple as that. However, this was not simply me being outnumbered due to my own risks, due to fate. I had chosen the path for myself, to move outward and fight JamiroCorp on my own. There were allies I could have found. Model R1002 Discovery, Face, my brother. He kind of stops for a bit. The previous model believes that... He stops one more time. This model believes that Face was one who acts with justice. In that way, I could have brought him to my side. But I did not. I left. I walked out on my own. In my old tenses, I should have died there. Instead, I was rescued, pulled through a teleportation technique that I have no recalling information on, and then repaired by a mechanic, one who I find to be just. And a girl.
Looks down at Superhero's bicep, which has a chibi Chuckle and Presley on it.
He, stands there, seeing where you glance, and looks down. Yes, that is you. He, again, kind of holding your shoulder, he lets go for a moment, standing there in front of you. It would be irresponsible for this model to see someone follow the same mistake. What is your goal, Chuckle? What do you wish to accomplish in this world that does not want you?
I want... Chuckle takes a deep breath, thinks back, and then he fucking just reaches his arm out and slaps himself in the fucking face! Ah, shit, I unplugged my headphones while doing that.
Superhero speaks up. Active violence detected! He grabs your hands and ties them behind their back real quick.
I'm back, okay. I slapped myself in the face and I unplugged my headphones while doing it.
Yes, superheroes. Active violence detected! He grabs your hands, ties them around your back, and holds you there. And then puts you around again. Your hands are stuck there due to his stand. That will be unnecessary. He puts his thumb up. This is an act of approval. Your goal.
My goal? I want the people here to finally realize that there's more to them than just this dour society that keeps on pushing down on top of them. A long time ago, not that long, but someone really close to me once told me that this world was unjust. And the people here are the same. I don't want to believe that. I want to believe that that's just the imprint that this society has had on them. I want to believe that every single person here has a bit of a hero inside of them.
He looks at you and his thumbs up, continues staying up. We are in agreement. You have one ally. And, he looks at you. Your hands seem to unfurl, falling at your side again. He pulls out the handkerchief around his neck, exposing the joints and general metallics underneath. He wipes at your face, tears falling off, and then hands you the handkerchief, in case you cry more. And then speaks one more time. If you desire to change hearts to heroes, I would suggest you start here. To leave now would be a failure as a hero. You must start with those close to you, and move outwards. Consider it like a training exercise.
You know, you're right. Chuckle takes Superhero's handkerchief and wipes away the tears. You know, you remind me a lot of an old friend of mine.
He, speaks up again. Thinking, that is interesting. Who is this friend?
Well, I suppose you could say he was my hero. Doubt you ever heard of him. His name was Joshua Joestar. But
I was unaware that Johann had a father.
It's more complicated than that, but I tried so hard to be just like him. But maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should just stop trying to be like that image and, well, just be myself, I guess.
Absolutely. Yourself is just. Justice unlike anything in this world has ever seen. Acting as yourself, you shall find you are your sharpest tool.
Yeah. No superheroes. I'm glad to have met you.
Affirmative. Meeting you has changed my life. He, moves forward. And turns again. I believe there is now a funeral procession for the individual Yang. Superheroes were called for a bit, his red light beeping a bit on his head. Very dangerous man. He
very dangerous man indeed. But He was a hell of a guy to hang around.
They move off, heading back away from the exit of the Love Shack, moving off towards a party. And Love Shaft. God. Also, while I'm getting things set up real quick, someone said that David is my Deckard Cain voice. That's incorrect. My Deckard Cain voice is this. So that's
What the fuck is this episode? Holy shit! You guys are so good.
You're doing great too, and you're gonna get some more stuff soon, buddy.
Yeah. Fucking feels.
You all move forward, and in a small room, the doghouse, everyone is sat around a table. They stare. A bottle has been assembled for them, and upon that bottle is a name imprinted with the year of birth.
Oh.
Can everyone hear the song?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. I can't, but I don't care. I don't matter. And sitting down along the table, individuals sit and stare, cups having been assembled for them.
It's not much. We can't always do much for our fellow soldiers. Deviano is going to start handing glasses down the table. I can't move them, so...
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
You know, whenever you feel like it.
I'll do that, yeah.
But it's important that we do our part to honor and remember our fallen companions.
Superheroes looks at his glass, and just kind of holds it, but doesn't move it at all, anywhere. Deviano, who has a glass in his hand, just kind of slides the last one. It kind of gets handed down. It lands in front of Superheroes, and he just trades his, sliding his over to Rain. A single drop spills upon the table. Apologies!
Oh, it's fine, it's fine. Rain picks it up.
Rain and Superheroes just mimic the exact same stance.
Yep.
I am
Brennan.
not...
You can talk. I'm just going to send Brennan something.
Okay. I'm not the one who should be speaking. As a leader, I knew I would be losing people. It was an inevitability. But it is always an fortunate turn of events. Deviano is going to pick up the now empty bottle and walk it over to the rack of empty bottles and put it on. It's a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, Rain's gonna scope that out. How many, 10 plus or more? Are we approaching triple digits?
Not triple digits, no. It's something probably along the lines of 30-something bottles. Diamond Dogs have gone through a lot of incarnations.
Good God!
It's not an easy life. It's not a good life. But it fights for... But we fight for something better. A place where people can... Somebody, please, just... You were all his friends. I was just his employer. One of you speak.
Rain slowly extricates herself from the table. She sees a hazy shadow in the corner, and, almost starts to say something. But, against her usual charisma and spirit, she actually just eases herself back down into her seat and goes quiet.
That's right. You don't have the right to say anything. Nothing at all. Because you were not there for my death. You were not there and you couldn't do anything. And guess what? Even if you were, you wouldn't be able to do anything. He whispers really close to your ear.
Rain remains completely motionless, normal, just smile on her face.
I have some words to say.
Johan puts the arm that he has placed on Rain's shoulder, just keeps it there. You want to go first, buddy, or should I?
Yang Sun Yu, he goes off without even any kind of prompting. Yang Sun Yu was a very powerful individual, and in the end, it seemed he chose a path of justice when I first met him. I am still surprised he had 4 stands. I was not Superheroes breaking the opening words just kind of looks around. Who speaks next?
Meanwhile, Yang just approaches Rain again. Yes, 4 stands. That I did have. Incarnations of death. Do you know what it's like to grow up knowing that the reflection of your soul is the very image of the end? Of course you wouldn't. Even if you did, it wouldn't even affect you. Because you're not human. You're a machine. You don't even have real feelings.
Rain picks up her glass and hucks it across the room as hard as possible through Yang's illusion. It just smashes against the wall.
Everyone stops and stares, I'd assume.
You know, the whole point of these is to toast at the end.
Johan puts an arm on her shoulder. I actually have a few things I want to say. Johan stands up and swishes the drink around in his hand. I didn't know him all that well. At the end of the day, I guess that's one of my regrets. But from what I did see, at the end of the day, he was a trusted friend. And in him, I saw the brother I never could be. We weren't there for his death, but we were there for his life. And what we were there for, I was glad to be a part of it. I wish there was something we could do to have changed it, but all we can do now is keep moving forward. No matter how hard it might be. Johan cocks the drink back. He sits down and keeps his arm on Rain's shoulder.
Rain's looking at Johan like the vision of the Reaper almost wrapping around him, too.
Chuckle picks up his shot glass. No. When I first came here, I made a vow not to lose anybody ever again. I don't know. I guess finally losing someone like him kind of put things in perspective finally. He was not the nicest guy, but goddamn he was a hell of a guy. Goddamn. I'll miss him. Puts it, he downs his, puts it down.
A strange green mist starts pouring down the horse's mouth, shrouding the room.
Yin seems to speak up for a moment. Hey, Presley, it's okay. She puts her arm over on her shoulder. Presley is crying. She's looking at something. What's that?
He left this for me to read.
Huh?
Yeah, I guess he had some kind of secret action.
Christian.
Yes.
I would like to activate my last secret action as Yang Sun
You motherfucker!
I
You're
approve.
dead. You're dead. What the fuck, man?
I approve of this last secret action. This secret action being, once Yang split off from the group, at a point when he realized he would need to use Black Rider to escape the situation, he found an opportunity to slip a piece of paper inside of Presley's pockets before departing. At this moment, it has been there. Presley, having not really looked through her stuff until now, finally finds it, and bringing it to here, she has a will in her hands.
To Rain, I got you 3 ribbons, since you lost the ones you had. They have dragons on them. Hope you don't mind.
Suddenly, a gunshot fires off as behind another Yang appears and kind of holding the gun a bit, blows the smoke off and holds it back to his holster.
Jesus fucking Christ, did you really think I was such a fucking loser?
Rain
God
tips
damn it,
their head
Rain.
to the side, hallucinating fully. Yeah, I'm embracing this now. I wish I had my fucking shot glass back.
Superheroes.
You know, you're really stupid for a, like, light speed brain processing machine, but, you know...
Junk data
Or
gets stuck
stupid
in there
machine.
sometimes. I want to get a shot glass for you. Welcome back, Young.
You do know that they can't hear or see me, right?
It's fine, it's fine. They'll just assume I'm being weird as usual or some shit.
Rain, are you broken?
Potentially. I just...
Well, I feel like I've said a lot of mean things to you in the last few hours. I will keep talking to you later. For now, the living should celebrate the dead. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Young?
Yeah?
Even if it's all fake, I'm so glad to see you again.
And I'm so glad to see you all smiling again. For once. See you all later.
Yang seems to vanish into the coals. This image glitching out, turning to just interfracted boxes as, again, kind of, everyone's just kind of looking at her, at Rain, and,
Somebody hand me a glass.
Okay! Bono slides us over, the only one who doesn't really seem to be concerned by what you just did.
Rain puts a boot up on the table. Yang Sun Yu. Someone who was chased from the minute he was born by the Reaper himself. Who never backed down even to the last.
Yin wants to toast, but she looks. Can you read the rest?
Gladly. To Chuckle, I smuggled a secret copy of Dark Death Invaders from the Abyss into the Love Shack. Beware, it's the director's cut. Yes, it's the director's cut, in all caps.
Chuckle, like, the tears start welling up again. He goes, "Oh, that son of a bitch." He has his head down.
To Johan, that Chinese sword on the wall of my room is not a prop. You can have it since you like swords. Careful, it might be cursed or something.
I think I'll take my chances.
Oof.
We can tell Roy when we get him back. To Roy, I got you the original Hellsing manga. It's over 300 years old. Be careful with it. To Deviano, son of Liang, codename Spiderweb. Contact info 500 543 2988 or 346 Road Jean District. Tell them you knew me. This man is one of the best info brokers in the East. To Yin, everything I own that was not listed here. Also, make sure to hand her the necklace I brought for her that's hidden in my closet in a blue box. It's made to look like raindrops. No raindrops. I know, raindrops. I'm a genius. Also, Presley takes a lollipop out of her jacket and gives it to her. And she takes one for herself, too. And to Presley. To Presley.
Ian pops it in her mouth and simply holds it there, kind of tears streaming down her face. She's complex, smiling, frowning all at once, her hand gripping a glass. She sits there. Superheroes gives a signature head pat to her. You are incredibly strong, Miss Sunyu. Thank you. She sits there. Toast to my brother. Toast to Yang. She raises her glass to everyone around.
Toast to the dumbass.
Toast to the dumbass.
Toast to the Reaper.
To the Reaper.
To that jackass.
To the man with 4 stands! Paraphrases. I don't know him, but to Yang. To Yang. To the creepy guy!
DVNO lifts up his glass and then... To dead soldiers and dead friends.
With
To
that,
Yang, yeah.
all of them clink their glasses together. And those who can take a drink. And the next 30 minutes or so are followed by conversation.
DVNO grabs another bottle.
That one's only for him.
An elevator taking people down the Love Shack. It finally clicks too, and the door opens up again. Well, a break is in order.
I guess so. A break would be nice. Rain strides forward. I'm gonna go do, whatever it is I do.
Rain? Can I come with you?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Oh wait,
These two fuck off.
Hold on. Wait. Johan hugs Presley.
She smiles and hugs him back.
Glad you're okay, kiddo.
The butler approaches Divino. Sir, do you require... Would you like to stay here for a little while, or we still have some business to solve downstairs? Perhaps you should take a break. Maybe chat around a bit.
I suppose I can do that.
Alright.
Johan looks at Presley. Look, I've got to go talk to her about something real quick, but Johan sighs. The world's heavy. If you need help carrying it, I'm here.
That means more than you know.
Alright. Take care of yourself, kiddo. Johan runs off.
Why is Technologic in the center of the pool?
Hello.
He's
just having some fun.
He's in baby jail. Where did Rain go?
Over here, but DVNO walked over there too.
Hi, Mana.
Hello, Mr. Joestar.
Ignored.
Hi, Mana. Hi, Jay.
She waves.
Mana, I'm gonna fight you sometime.
Okay.
Friendly, though.
Okay.
Johan reins the current corner and looks at Davey.
I'll come back. It's fine.
Rain looks from DVNO to Johan. You guys having a beef or something?
You could put it that way, yes. Johan just kind of sighs and looks at the water. I heard. First, I'm glad you're safe.
Oh, yeah, no, transplant process was easy. Hammond Drive was integrated with...
No. We're getting to that, but last I remember, you went somewhere and I didn't know where you were, and then, you know, suddenly there's a samurai again, and I didn't have time to think or worry, and I'm just glad you're still here.
Yeah, how long have you been awake?
Johan looks around for a clock or something, and finding none, he just kind of guesstimates, I don't know, is seven's greater than 6, right?
Still haven't figured out the counting thing. Still have
not yet. I need a tutor.
Counting thing.
I definitely need a tutor.
You know, Johan, I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not a lot of the time, and...
neither can I. It would be nice to know. Anyway, sufficient amount of time, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, She actually looks substantially relaxed after that. I'm glad you're here too. I heard more or less what happened, and I saw the aftermath very obviously.
The first thing I heard when waking up was, you know, I expected to be crippled for life because it sure as shit felt that way, but I heard what you did, and why? Why on me?
So, Rain kind of folds her hands. Well, I don't know how to put this properly. It would be... Look, Johan, you're more useful right now than I am when it comes to Hammon and ability. You were able to pretty cleanly beat someone that I wasn't, and I wasn't about to lose that to a dozen lacerations and admittedly pretty extensive spinal damage.
Cleanly is... I was about to say, cleanly is putting it a bit liberally.
Yes.
You muted me at one point.
Yeah, you couldn't really breathe was the big issue. And I didn't warn you, I guess, adequately enough. If you try to force Hammon breathing when your mouth or throat is messed up, you can wind up rearranging bone or body parts, which is not something that I imagine. You had teeth in your lungs. It was bad. Look, like,
Johan looks at his reflection in the pool and kind of counts his teeth, seeing that they're all there. Okay, good. Haven't reached the gold tooth phase of this look yet. I can see.
Punches you on the shoulder. It's a good look. I feel like I didn't compliment you enough on it going into this, but like, you really are pulling yourself together.
You don't think the belly star is a bit much?
The belly star is a little. Look at me. Rain motions to herself. I am wearing orange and purple. Like I have no room to talk.
I have abs that the world needs to see. That was kind of the idea behind this design decision.
Yeah, and I want to look like a pumpkin. Like, it's cool. I'm not gonna be the one to
to be fair, you pull off the pumpkin look really well.
Thank you, and your abs do need to be seen.
Thank you. You know, if Roy was here, he'd call you. Oh God, what's Boruto's dad? Yeah, that's who he would say you look like.
You know,
That's definitely that shade of orange you got going on there.
But when you say when Roy was here, you get the feeling that it was like a half second, like a moment for a music cue change to, yeah, the sad music, and then the words Boruto's dad leave your lips, and Rain's like, wait, what the fuck? No, Johan, I'm so glad you're okay. Oh my god.
Johan kind of pulls her in for a hug. Look, I didn't think I was really worth it. My first thought was that I didn't deserve this, and a part of me is still, always will, struggle with that. I look around and I see all of this, and I just don't think I deserve it, but somebody infinitely wiser than I am said that it's not up to me to determine what I am and am not worth. But, look,
Sounds like the words of a pretty good teacher.
I don't know if we're at that point yet. I mean, I can hope, huh? But this is a big part of you, and I just need to make.
That's a part of me that I don't know if I have the right to have anymore.
What are you talking about? Right to have?
It feels more fitting with you, and I use the word feels in a more... Presley pointed this out earlier. I use the word feels very loosely. I believe that it belongs with you more than it does with me.
Why?
Oh, are you sure you want to ask that question?
I mean, technically, you're inside of me. We might as well get this out of the way.
Why'd you have to put it like that? Punches you again!
God looks at her like, I don't understand. Like, I don't even know how you got it in there. Like, is it in... Do I have a second heart? What is this?
Okay, walk with me, talk with me.
Alright.
She starts to walk. Okay, so what's been integrated into your body is it's a ham-on drive. It's what was built into the core of my being, and it's what gave me, as an artificial being, the ability to use ham-on. There was a short period of time that you risked not only losing your powers, but your life. Divino said even if you were resuscitated, you might not retain your ham-on. Your stand might remain, it's something different. Nobody knows quite how those work yet. But
is it tied to your soul or something?
I would not know where to begin on that.
Good point. Let's just keep moving.
Okay, so you are unfortunately a little more machine than you were before, and you needed a part that would retain those parts of yourself.
What was replaced? I don't...
That's a better question. That's a question better left to your physician.
Should I have one of those? I can afford one of those?
Kinda shakes her. Like, at first started with a yes, then starts with the no.
The mental image of a gremlin with a bone saw flashes through Johan's mind.
What kind of health insurance did your shipping company have?
Well, we were poor. We really didn't have any. Life
Yeah.
expectancy is very short.
Well, I've got some good news. Your life expectancy is now incredibly long, because...
how much longer are we talking here?
I mean, longer than human average now. You've been more or less on the down low a little. You've been enhanced, you've been upgraded a little bit. I know that's intrusive and probably terrifying, but you're not dead, so there's that.
Definitely gonna need a list of that.
Yes.
So... Is it, like, merged with me? Is it physically in me?
Yeah, oh no, this is not a metaphor.
Alright, well, if...
Think about it, yeah, think about it like a second heart, if you would. You need your lungs to regulate ham-on throughout your human body, and now you need your ham-on drive to enhance your inhuman parts.
Well, I'm definitely gonna need to play around that. I wouldn't want... Anyway.
I'd like to believe it'll make you stronger, but...
Time will tell.
Look, Johan, I am so sorry. Yeah, if you want to hop over, I actually have a reasonable scene transition if you want one.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Rain rounds the butt of the Sphinx, and sort of spots Divino sitting with Presley, and oh god, that. And she stops and looks back at Johan. Look, if you're serious about wanting to know what's up, like why, come back to me in a little bit, okay? Like, relax a little bit first. Pats you on the arm. We both need to unwind, I think, a little bit, but
probably
yeah,
good idea. I'm just gonna
ask me again, okay?
All right.
Counting on you. She walks over. Divino, do you want to go talk?
Yeah. We'll continue this conversation later. What was your name again? Halen?
Von Halen, boss.
Yeah. Don't call me that.
All right, Mr. Divino.
Von Halen holds a teacup with 2 fingers in his hand.
That's a quite fascinating man, don't you agree, Mrs. Presley?
That's one word for
Yes,
it.
he's quite interesting. Johan, take a seat real quick. Well, actually, she kind of gives you a wink and you should go talk to the others. I have something I need to do.
Okay, that's fine.
Von Halen, you should do the same.
Johan pets.
Hound Dog looks at your fingers.
Johan pets Hound Dog. He gives a warm smile to Presley before making his way to the other side of the pool.
All right, fine. I know I'm not wanted anymore. Hang on.
He sits on Roller, and Roller starts taking away like a little taxi cab. He kind of bumps its way on the stairs a bit, and he kind of picks it up, carries it up the stairs, passing Twerp, and sits on it again and rides it down the stairs again. It crashes into you, Johan, as you and stumble into Chuckle and Mina over here.
Whoa! You alright there?
Johan gives a spin kick to the android that knocked into him. It stops right here before catapulting Von Halen into the pool.
Oh, shit. Von Halen just flies into the pool.
Johan pets the robot. Sorry about that, buddy.
If you want to do a Chuckle, Johan, Mina thing real quick while I'm setting something else up, feel free.
Oh, sure. Johan kind of shoves it to the side.
Mina was coming up to Chuckle and, Mr. Valentine.
Yep.
I'm not quite connected to everything, but you have my condolences.
Ah, thank you. You know, I don't think I've ever actually talked to you before.
I haven't actually talked to you either.
Huh.
But I've heard of all the things you've done.
Yeah?
You guys have been very busy.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I think the main thing I heard about you was just something about an egg.
Well, you mean that egg over there?
Yeah, Mina calls over Chi as Chi waddles forward and comes and tries to goes to hug Mina's side. This is Chi.
Wow. That's an egg.
He's one of the carbon interfaces.
Yeah, I remember Chi. He was one of the ones we managed to bring back. Oh, actually, we left him in your care.
Yes. I am trying to take the best care of him I can.
Well, by the looks of him and that look in his eyes, it seems like you're doing a pretty good job.
It's... Pardon to sound, I guess disconnected, but I think I've been having a good time. it's sort of quaint, just hanging out with Chi and all the boys. It's
enjoying your stay here?
Fairly. I'm worried about my other responsibilities, but I think it's nice to live in a little fantasy for a little while.
Yeah, I can get that.
Wish I knew how that felt.
You should try it sometime. I may look naive, but I do understand that there is things going on in the world, and I understand that if I try to take that all on myself, always, I will most definitely crush. But if I take rests, then I can recenter myself.
It's a weight your shoulders aren't meant to carry.
Oh, I'll tell you something I was told just earlier today. You can't do the... If you want to try taking on the world, then your body sure as hell can't handle the weight alone. But,
yes,
maybe with a lot of shoulders, might be able to bear that weight just a little bit better.
It's very...
She looks back at her boys, all hanging out on lawn chairs. Yeah, I've discovered that, and you find friends in the strangest places.
Like a garbage dump.
Or a burning factory.
That too. Speaking of burning factories, Jan puts a...
I'm gonna transition right there. Sorry, I'm doing something. I'm gonna stop you there. All right. Let's go to Divino and Rain.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect timing. Yeah.
Oh no, I was listening. I was here.
So, I've been thinking about that conversation in the alley.
Yeah, me too, actually. Rain stops and then leans up against this wall. That was actually really nice. Like, really, really nice. Thank you for taking a second to talk to me right then. I think I needed it, and, it's helped a lot, so genuinely, thanks. I jumped the gun with me talking about, my own reflections about this. This could wind up being terrible, folds her hands. I'm having one of those days. If it's terrible, hit me with it.
No, I needed it too. I've been playing this friendly, childlike game, trying to focus on friendship, and that's not gonna win a war. It's not gonna win anything. You are the only person in this group, I think, who can understand what I'm going to do.
Rain stops and she thinks back on, like, well, what Divino said right there of, like, friendship's not going to win a war, and she thinks back to where she was months ago in the arcade, and she thinks back to the events of today, and without thinking much about it, she goes, yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. I wanted to pretend I could be normal for a minute. That's all this was, a vacation. My point is, I have grown to actually enjoy your company. I like you as a friend, and I...
This time Rain hugs Stevie. I understand. It was a nice dream while it lasted, right?
Yes, it was. Don't tell the others. I'm going to fire you all in person, but now's not the time. They need you all need to recuperate. That said, I cannot in good conscience allow one of my friends to go without any protection. So I have this for you. and then he's going to reach out and pull out of his jacket pocket a little clicker. A little pink clicker, nothing special. And hand it over.
Rain grabs it. She kind of takes a step back. This is kinder than I expected. Can I ask what it is?
It's a way to contact me if you need it. You hook it up to a cell phone, laptop, not connected to any form of satellite, no Wi-Fi, no anything. Then I can receive any message you type out and send with the clicker.
She grins and puts it away.
I can't guarantee I'll be able to help every time, but if you need me, I can try.
I'm going to do my best to see that this is never used. I'm hoping... This might be a vain hope, but I'm hoping that vacation could maybe turn into a retirement someday. And in order to do that, well, I guess you've got work to do first.
I do, but like I said, I cannot in good conscience leave the only friend I still have in this group without protection. If you need my help, I will do what I can. I cannot promise much, but it's there if you need it.
She clutches it. You know, thank you so much. She hugs him again. I'm discovering that this feeling business is a mess. I can't express it with words, so I'm just gonna stop trying. She buries her head in your shoulder and then takes one long step back. No matter what happens, let's make a promise. Reverse. You get in touch with me, I'll show you how. Rain's going to trust Deviano with something secret off-screen that will be discussed, then I'll DM you once we're not talking. This is something I've never trusted anyone else with. You use this for anything other than a friend reaching out to another friend, and I'll be furious, okay?
I'll keep it in mind. I am sorry that it can't be a more functional way for us to work together, but I'm glad that you're my friend.
I said this before. I'll say it as many times as I need. You need to do what's right for you right now, and I am honored to have you as my friend. She genuinely beams at Deviano. A lot of the weight of the last few hours completely burning away from her. Again, I'm gonna DM you what I just sent you.
That's cool. Yeah, Deviano's just gonna walk up, put his hand on your shoulder. Now we need to act like everything is just calm and we had a normal talk.
Right.
I have to go do preparations because you all know the secret base's location. Roy knew it, and I can't use this anymore once I'm done here. So, it's been nice, and I only came along to tell you what I needed to.
Right. Yeah, so I guess this place is going up in flames too? That's...
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate indeed.
Only a setback.
Oh, we'll move on. You'll move on. It sounds ludicrous. I'm hoping for the day that I'm wandering through some dumb Wild West attraction, and I see a silhouette standing on top of a building, and it is the man I least expect to see in such a farcical setting. And I'm hoping that when that day comes, it's not because we're on the run or because we have some job to do. I hope it's because we're living out a goddamn joke. And I hope it's a joke you can live out with us.
That sounds nice. I just hope I don't have to wear that mustache ever again.
Rain and DeviantO walk back to the group. Oh my god, that was so good!
DeviantO actually is going to separate. Right?
Oh yeah.
And head to the elevator again.
While he's going that way,
pat Twerp on the head.
Hey, hi. We're gonna do the thing.
Oh, alright, hey, I'm proud of you, son. And then DeviantO's gonna walk off sweating, because he's not sure if he did that right.
Cher, did I just hear that?
Yeah, you did, and sorry, I didn't process that I had the character sheet. He's not good at showing it, but he really does care about you. Oh, you've got a little, she licks her thumb and runs it along his...
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if it... I'm proud of you too. You're growing up to be a very good young man, and she's just gonna hug him.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do it now. It's the best thing I could do to help. He sets himself straight and walks downwards. Cher, you watch it apart.
No, don't break a leg. I'll fix it if you do.
Okay. He kind of comes over and sits down. Mina kind of standing next to her. Hi. Hello there, Twerp. Hi, yeah. Hey, Presley's mom knowingly. Oh, yes. Twerp had a present for you, Presley.
Present?
I need to give you your thing again. Hang on. Sorry, I keep forgetting your... I had your pog placed in all these places, but I don't have the replacement one, so I gotta...
Present?
Kills.
Alright, I'll give you your secret actions back.
I'm back, baby.
Twerp looks up. Yeah, did I ever tell you what, my stand does?
No, you didn't.
It's called Lady World. It's pretty... It lets me, send messages and stuff, and that's how all the Diamond Dogs and DeviantO's people communicate, because it gets sent to a place that it doesn't get intercepted by touch. It's out of range, I guess you could say. And I could even send it to offline things like phones that aren't on and stuff like that, you know?
That's extremely useful.
Yeah, and I talked to your mom, and I wanted to know if you wanted to talk to your dad.
She's kind of taken aback for a second. Yes.
Okay, cool. He gets up, scrambling in his coat, and moves over and hands her a phone with this weird chip onto it.
Takes it.
All right. You can take it, and you look at it. Just press the button to call. Presley's mom looks rather pleased and happy as she looks at Presley. I'll talk to him next. You can go first. I got to talk to him before you came back.
Well, that's a relief.
The phone rings. And only about 3 rings later, it picks up. And a voice that you haven't heard in a few months now comes out from the other side. Hello?
Dad.
But suddenly you hear a slight weakness in the tone of the voice. Something that's a bit uncharacteristic. Presley? Presley! Oh... Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Oh...
So much has happened.
Yeah, a whole lot. Oh, girl, how are you doing? Are you alright? Yeah, I already asked that. I'm sorry. We're fine too. We're fine. I'm here with your brothers at another facility. Avix picked us up. He kind of just mumbles a bit. Oh, good. Tell me, how is everything? He just kind of mumbles a bit, sitting there. For the first time in your life, you think. Your dad seems to be at a loss of words. You had a good relationship with your family, but you were always kind of introverted. And every time your dad came to you, it was either to tell you to do something or tell you what was right. He was a big influence for you. A big, just kind man who always watched out for you, and hearing him like this it makes your heart feel a little weird. But you're happy.
Things are good, Dad. Gooder than before.
I'm glad. I'm real happy about that. Hey, we got to finish watching that game, actually. So that was good. We didn't... That was pretty fortunate, but we got brought out afterwards. We're underground right now. It's pretty comfy, though, I gotta say. I'm glad you're doing well, too. You've been staying out of trouble?
I can't lie to you.
But
I'm gonna get you out of there soon.
Presley, don't go putting yourself in too much danger now, okay?
I won't.
Well, you always do seem to break the rules once in a while. Yeah.
I only ever get caught once.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it.
I knew you were sneaking out. Miss Graceland from the other line kind of speaks up. Oh no, he doesn't. He was on your side the whole time, but I knew. He kind of continues talking to you though, just letting you know about things, and he seems to tell you to be safe many times over. Eventually, he says something else. Would you like to talk to your brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, all right then. Here. Get the phone off. Twerp, Mina, both kind of stare. Presley is smiling, and her face is the happiest you've seen it from whatever small time you've seen her. Miss Graceland, however, also shares that face, seeing her daughter finally, after a while, smiling like that again. Let me drag us away from that, as give Presley some time to talk to her family.
Before we leave.
Yeah?
Presley is going to give Twerp a hug.
Twerp, as you wait for the line to go, you kind of just go give Twerp a hug, and he's like, hey, no problem, it's fine. I just wanted to help out a bit, and I kind of, Yen, Graceland, superheroes, Mina, and all the others, we all kind of, when we were waiting for everyone to come back, we just kind of thought the best thing we could do to help, the best thing, Graceland speaks up, the best thing we could do to help is just be there. She kind of puts your hand on your shoulder and stands up and gives you a hug too. Mina, there's a three-way hug going, and you can't hold back.
She's trying to step back, but she just bowls in, picking everyone up.
I think last week I found my focus, but now I've found my resolve. Thanks.
And now, I'll drag us over. Divino, as you prepare to depart, over here, Chuckle is standing with you.
Howdy.
Seems to be leaning against the wall, yeah.
I take it you want to talk?
Not really, just wanted to tell you a little something.
Yes.
Well, as I'm sure you know, when we first met, I fucking hated you. A lot.
That's fair.
And I kept on hating you. A lot.
Yeah, feeling was mutual.
Yeah.
You guys cut my leg off and took my eye.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't me, but anyways.
Well, yeah.
All I'm gonna say is, after a long while, I started warming up to you a bit. I gotta say, I'm actually a little proud of you.
Why?
You may have not noticed it, but I sure as fuck have. You've changed.
In what way are you referring to me changing, exactly?
You're getting all touchy-feely all the time. I think that's great. Look, I know you have that whole keeping your emotions out and stuff because it helps you think or something like that. But hey, just to let you know, sometimes the craziest, most wildest ideas come from the strangest emotions. So don't go pushing them all out, alright?
I will take that into account.
Good.
If you'll excuse me.
Yep. Later, you jackass.
You step through in the elevator. Janitor is standing there. Oh, sorry, sir. I'm just doing some cleaning.
Huh? Is that the janitor from Scrubs?
Shh.
Don't tell nobody.
The answer is yes.
And Deviano departs to another area. Chuckle, you walk away, and you, for some reason, you're getting a bloody nose.
Well, that ain't good.
And
why is there a real less person here?
Anyways, yeah. You all kind of sit there. Presley, you kind of hang up the phone a bit and just kind of lean back some more. And sitting there, everyone's just kind of looking. And yeah, you put up the last conversation with your youngest brother, who seems even less together than your dad was. And that final moment, the phone hangs up. Or, well, yeah, the phone hangs up. Not on your end. Your little brother hung it up. Oh, no. Oh, we're supposed to get Graceland to talk to them, too. It's okay. You see, Twerp is kind of rubbing his head a bit. He's sweaty and he seems like a little stressed. I can do it. I can continue it. No, honey. She kind of leans over. It's fine. You can take a break. Right. Yeah. How about you go lay down? Yeah, I think I'll try to lay down. He goes to stand up and tries to move away. And Miss Grayson looks at everyone again. So, Mina, how have you been doing?
I've been doing nice. That's all I can say. I've been thinking about why I'm here. I'm trying to figure out where to go from here. I came to J City for a purpose, and I'm just so far disconnected from everything. I don't know if I can find myself again.
Grayson looks. Honey, I've heard a little bit about you, and I think you can do it. You're a good girl. You've got you got 2 arms, 2 legs, a good head on your shoulder, and I think you can move on forward and take anything you want in life.
That's what Dad always says.
It's just a shame that I have to, I guess, it's so barbaric, but I have to fight my siblings.
Oh, honey. Hound Dog begins whimpering around in the corner. Oh, Presley, can you go pet Hound Dog? Take care of him real quick.
Is this a trick?
What are you talking about?
Cut your hair, Mom.
What?
I think Miss Graceland's hair is wonderful.
Twerp begins to walk out, and over here, I'm gonna drag everyone over here. He kind of looks. Hey, who are you? The man stops. Huh. Well, it seems I've been discovered. He steps back a bit. He pulls out a lighter. So it seems you're a Stan user too, aren't you? I was granted this stand by JamiroCorp. Wash. It's a lighter, and when I click it, I can cause... He clicks the lighter. Suddenly, a flame erupts. Everyone around you sees it. A gigantic flame, much bigger than any lighter should have allowed, erupts around him, the oil inside of it bursting. It goes on him. He starts lighting on fire, and he starts screaming, twirling around, crashing into everything. But I understand! It was supposed to be a stand!